we online?
We're here. Perfect.
Hello.
Hi. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to Katie and Luke having coffee.
Yeah, all herbal tea.
Or herbal tea. Yeah, I've got half a cup because we've already been chit-chatting for a while.
Yeah.
So we have our topic today, which we're going to be talking about social etiquette.
Social etiquette, yeah. So Lynn, thank you for that. So you were saying, why don't people smile at each other anymore, sort of in the street?
Generally in life.
Generally in life, yeah. Why not? Is it because we're all skint and it's Christmas? I don't know.
Well, I've got an idea, but you know.
You've got an idea. Do you want to share your idea?
Okay. Can I give you a story?
Yeah.
So when I was 17, my best friend and I went over to the States to visit my family. And we were walking down the street. No one really walks in America, so that was odd in itself.
I was going to say there was a sidewalk.
There was a sidewalk, yeah. So we were walking down the street, and a guy said to us, "Hello." We went, "Oh, what's this?" And it occurred to us that being 17 years old in our life, we had not had somebody say hello to us in the street before.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was completely odd to us. And we kind of, he jogged on, he was jogging, so jog on. He jogged on.
Jog on, mate.
And, you know, we kind of turned back and said hello, but it took us a moment because we didn't understand what was happening. How weird is that, right?
So he was just literally saying hello as he went past?
As he went past, yeah. But that's very normal. For us, it's very abnormal, I would say, as a culture.
Yeah, I think this is where we got to, isn't there? There's sort of some fear around actually communicating with somebody you don't know. And I was thinking we're kind of tribal, really, about how we communicate with people. We like to stick with the people we know, and we don't want to step outside of our little tribe of people that we trust, I suppose. That's how I feel. And I kind of find myself when I'm looking, because I will smile at people, but when I'm thinking about it, I sort of think, do they want to smile? Is that person ready to smile at me? Oh, hi! But it's normally people at school that I know, parents I sort of half know, people I'm used to smiling at.
Yeah, rather than random strangers.
Strangers, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if there's also, if anybody here is from the north, if it's a north-south thing, because my understanding is that it is a lot friendlier, or can be a lot friendlier up north than it is in the south, because of course we've got a lot more people in the south as well. We're much more populated. So I wonder if there's a population thing as opposed to, for example, when I was in America, people don't really walk down the street. So you kind of say hello because it's not common to pass somebody in the street, I guess.
A bit more unusual.
Whereas here there are so many people that if you said hello to everybody that you pass walking down the street, you never get anywhere.
Well, true, but also was it a smaller community where you were? Because I wonder if there's a community aspect, if you are part of a local community that you feel like is integrated with you and everything you do, you're a bit more comfortable to.
I guess so. If I think about that, where I live, when we walk around, when I walk the dog round, sometimes people will smile and say hello, and sometimes they won't. Sometimes they just kind of shuffle past and don't make eye contact.
But is that a dog, though? Does the dog change things? Because I think maybe, dog walkers do actually say hello.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. If it's someone with another dog, you do. But if they don't have a dog, you don't.
You don't? Why?
I don't know.
Why do we do that? It's true, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I go for walks with a couple of friends, sometimes to sort of, clear the air and have a chat. And often if you're walking in a walking place, we go to the woods or something, and you'll see a lot of people with dogs, and they are more interactive, I suppose. They are friendlier. I guess
because you've automatically got something in common.
Do you think that's what
a bit like the community thing. If it's a small community, you've automatically got in common that you live there.
Yeah.
Or that if you're walking a dog, you've both got dogs.
You've both got dogs.
But if it's just a stranger, I guess there's nothing in common.
Yeah, maybe that's it. They're just a random person walking in the woods in the middle of the day. That's possibly a little bit unusual. Is that what it is? Yeah, okay. So it's about connection, really, and trust? Is that the issue, do you reckon? So. About trust?
And not to go too deep into it, but we did also mention, I think there's also a difference between being male and female and saying hello to someone. I think it's harder for a man to say hello to someone than it is for a woman.
I think you're probably right.
If I'm generalising.
I think you're probably right, because I'll say, and I will do with little kids as well. So if I see a child,
can't do that.
No, a man couldn't do that.
No.
So if I see a little child being cute or even being naughty, you know, I might say something to the child. I might catch the attention of the parents and give a knowing look or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, I have done. There are times when I've kind of done the "I'm a parent, you're a parent" look.
Yeah.
Even
but
if
there we go. There's that connection again.
but even if I haven't got the kids with me, but there is that. Also, I'd make a point of saying, "Oh, mine do that as well," or something like that.
Yeah. So that's the point of
It's
something in common.
Oh yeah. Okay, we solved it.
There we go. That's why people don't smile at each other, because they don't have anything they can identify that's in common with the other person. What do you think?
Yeah, it's interesting.
That's a really interesting idea, actually.
Yeah. So that spiraled us onto other societal norms.
Yeah.
And we started talking about professionalism, didn't we? Being a societal norm.
Luke and I don't really like professionalism very much.
Me particularly.
I think it's because, you know, we were talking about the difference between professionalism and integrity. So, like, you can have integrity in your work. You were saying that's a really good point. Yeah, like you respond to emails, you turn up to work on time, you do your job. But this idea that you sort of have to leave a bit of who you are behind to even be at work.
Yeah. So as ex-HR manager, this was a real challenge for me when I was in the corporate world, because my role effectively, and depends what company I was in, some companies were better than others, but is to manage professionalism in people.
Okay, yeah.
And I really struggled with that. And I think that's the biggest reason that I dropped it and that I do what I do now. I gave up my 13-year career in HR because I couldn't cope with that I wasn't allowed to treat other people like humans. I had to treat them professionally. And for me, I remember having an interview for the last job that I was in. And I said in my interview, I'm determined to put the human back in human resources. And they're like, yeah, that's brilliant. That's exactly what we want. And then I got in the door like, no.
No,
yeah,
no.
It's not what we want. No humanity here, thank you. Do it by the book.
Oh my God.
I only lasted 5 months there.
Yeah. Gosh.
So that, I think it gets taught, like, they now, and a lot of, even 5 years ago when I was working till now, a lot of companies now are starting to have diversity and inclusion departments and equality department, which didn't really exist even just 5 years ago. So there is change. But when I can only speak from my time when I was in the professional world, it was almost frowned upon to be human. And I've witnessed people be bullied out of a business because they have children, for example.
That's illegal.
I know, but I mean,
yeah.
Proving it's another matter, and going through tribunal, do you really want the stress of it? I had to leave one employer because they weren't supporting me going through the adoption process. Yeah. They supported me from a professional perspective because they adhered to what the guidelines from the government were, but what the guidelines from the government don't allow for is the modern adoption process. They're way out of date. And my argument was, well, if I was a pregnant woman, I had hospital appointments, you'd allow me to go to them, but you won't allow me to have meetings with social workers and other things. Yeah. Because it wasn't a medical need. So, for me, that's where this kind of professionalism and humanity really clashed all the time. And I found it really hard to do that from a HR, or uphold that from a HR perspective. Yeah. Really difficult.
I can believe it.
Because for me, it felt like you almost have to leave your humanity at the door when you come to work. Like if you've had a really rubbish morning with your kids or you've got something going on in your personal life, you're supposed to then step through the door, happy face on, be professional. But for me, I'm like, you don't change species when you walk through the door. You're still a human outside the door or inside the door. Yeah. You're still a human 100% of the time. So where's the allowance for that? Where's the tolerance for that?
I think, smaller businesses and maybe businesses in some of the Nordic countries are getting a little bit more forward thinking in how they structure themselves. And, I think we've spoken about it before. I'm going to get this wrong. There is a country in the Nordics where a company has moved to a 4-day work week officially.
I won't say Sweden, but I might be wrong.
I don't want to say, I don't know which one it is, because I've talked to my husband about this because he, has experience of HR as well. And, this company is more productive using a shorter working week.
Yeah.
That's real life, you know. If you give people time to live their life, because life is not just work.
No, and we got this crazy notion that we are born to work. You know, we go through schooling, we go through college, university, we get a career, we work till we retire to get a pension. It's madness to me.
Utterly mad. I mean, we talked about it last time, didn't we? That there's more than one way to live a life, basically. You don't have to do anything. And actually, when you realise that, oh God, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
You know, obviously we've all got constraints. We've all got, you know, bills to pay and like the reality of life to look after. But fundamentally, any one of us at any point could up sticks and completely change everything. It just depends where you want the pain to be, doesn't it? You know, that there would be some pain involved in that.
Well, I talk about this quite often. I went from a pretty decent salary to nothing, to making a loss in my first year of business, to making a small profit in my second and third years of business, to finally making a profit, breaking my leg, and then back to a loss again. But I still have a roof over my head. I've never missed a bill. We go on holidays. I drive a relatively new car. My children want for nothing. I'm like, it happens. Like, life still happens. Life still goes on.
Yeah.
And I'm still making it work. And I don't even know how I used to fit a job in. I literally have no idea how I would crowbar a job into my life now.
No. So what, like a desk job, sort of sitting there all day?
How I could be confined to something for 40 plus hours a week now. I don't know where that would fit into my life. I know I have children now, slightly different, but even still, I'm like, where would that go?
I think once you start to explore that part of your personality, you can't go back, because that's what happened to me as well. So I was working in marketing. Some of it I really, really still, you know, enjoy. I do bits of it now, but where I got to, I'd started to change my attitudes to life so much that I couldn't. It was really jarring being in that desk job environment where I sat all day doing nothing but desk work. To the point, like you, I think we both talked about burnout, haven't we?
Oh yeah,
and
big time.
I hit burnout about 3 years ago because I was trying to do too much, and my brain had already said, I don't like this now. I think there is a better way, and I just sort of mentally let go of it. And once you realise that there is another way to be, I don't think you can go back. Could you go back?
No.
Well,
on top of that, also remember, back to this being professional, being human, you're not only working in a job, you've also got 2 children to raise.
Yes, yeah.
So your work doesn't stop when you get home.
No.
Nobody's work, whether you've got children or not. No, you know, we still got to cook and clean and iron and look after people, pets, whatever.
Pets, people, elderly parents, whatever it might be. Yeah, there's so much else.
So much in life, or you know, to do. I don't understand this kind of concept that we're just here to work, as we said. It's just very alien to me now in hindsight. But at one time, that was all I ever wanted. Were you a product of your upbringing in that sense? You know. No. So my parents were both self-employed.
Okay.
But worked like nuts. My dad used to work 90-hour weeks. And in fact, towards the end of his life, he actually came to work with me. And he ran his own business and worked with me as well. So he would be working double. But this was one of the major factors for me. When he got diagnosed and then died, he spent his whole life working 90-hour weeks to make it to retirement and never made it to retirement. Yeah. So what was it all for? Yeah. And then I was like, that's it.
Not doing this anymore. I'm out of here.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. But once you see it, you can't unsee it.
No. So I sustained another, I don't know, that was 13. I think I left the business world in 18. So I sustained another 4 or 5 years of it. But I just job hopped for 4 and 5 years. I couldn't keep any stability because bit like you, I was done.
You were done. Yeah, head was out of it.
Yeah, because I had burnout as well. At the point that my dad was diagnosed, my work was so nuts that on top of that, I couldn't cope. And then I had burnout and I was off work for a month. And then I went back to work. No, I was off work for a month or 3 months. It was 4 months in total. I can't remember which side it was. So let's say I was off work for a month.
Yeah.
No, it was 3 months. I was off work for 3 months. And I came back and somebody had literally just shut the office door for 3 months. And then I come back and I'm like, oh, okay. Nobody picked up any of my work, so I've
Oh
just
my
come back after
goodness.
being off sick with stress, and then I've come back to 3 months worth of work.
Oh my
And in the
goodness.
meantime, they relocated my manager as well, so nobody was running the department at all.
I said, this is HR. You're in
Yeah,
at this
yeah, right.
point.
Yeah,
So, which should be there to look after
yeah,
you in some capacity.
no.
Yeah.
So then I came back, and within very short space of time, went off sick again because obviously
It's too
I
much.
couldn't recover from 3 months of work sat on my desk.
No.
Um, One of the things I did do was remove it all from my desk,
Oh, that's kind.
so that I didn't feel the pressure when I was like, but now I don't know where my stuff is. So, uh, and then also
Talk about a
sustainable.
sticking
I
plaster
know,
over the
yeah.
problem.
So then I moved jobs, and then like I say, I job hopped. So yeah, burnout was massive, and it really changed everything for me. I remember physically getting ready for work one day, and I walked to the front door, and I couldn't open the door. I could physically open the door, but mentally I couldn't open the door.
How weird is that? Yeah.
I couldn't open it. And I got on the phone and to call in sick, and I just cried so much down the phone, they didn't even know who they were speaking to. They didn't know it was me.
Oh, Luke.
Because I just couldn't get any words out, and I was just
yeah.
and I'm not a crier, I'm a massive robot, so I just couldn't get it out. So that was my burnout. What was yours?
Bless you. Mine was sort of similar. So I'd had a 3-month contract with this agency people were very nice, but the work was relentless.
Yeah.
And, at the time I had, one child in school, one in nursery, so they were quite little. I'd sit at my desk for 6 hours. I wouldn't move. Sometimes I was so busy I forgot to drink and eat things. And they just had this project management system where they just fire a new job. And as soon as one was done and ticked off the list, another one was there waiting for me. I couldn't ever get the information I needed to do the work because nobody was ever available to ask. And at the same time, that was in the pandemic. So that was 20 to 21. We just had all the lockdowns. So that's stressful trying to homeschool on top of all of that.
Absolutely.
Then what happened was we had the final lockdown, beginning of 2021, and I just couldn't do it anymore. And I remember, like you, crying. I couldn't, my brain wouldn't function. The thought of going back, I think it was Christmas, after Christmas, I couldn't stop crying. I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't be this person anymore. And the irony was I was already training to be a health coach at that point. Yeah. So I was studying the module on stress. The irony, like I was reading all the stuff going, look out for these signs. Yeah, I had all of them.
Yeah, tick, 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 tick.
All of them. So I had already started mentally transitioning away and knowing that this wasn't a healthy life. And then, then that happened and I just couldn't go back. But like you, couldn't physically do it. And physically, I felt it at that point, the exhaustion of just couldn't function. And so, I emailed them and said, I'm really sorry. I'm too stressed. I can't actually function. I can't remember what I said. But they were very good about it. They were very good. But to this day, I wonder if whether I had been brought in, because it was all very quickly arranged, this contract. I think I'd been brought in because someone else
did the same thing,
because it was relentless.
And that was going to be my next question. Do you think that they learned from that, or do you think that just repeated? Do you think they just keep going until they find someone that can hack it?
I don't know. I mean, if I'd been maybe in my early 20s, I probably could have hacked it. Yeah.
This is what
should you hack it?
No, this is my point, right? Because I've witnessed this so many times when someone can't hack it, and I don't like to use that term hack it really because it shouldn't be about that at all.
It's not about them.
But they're like, oh, well, we'll just get someone that can. Oh, we'll just get someone that will just say yes enough until they break, and then we'll just keep going on that cycle.
Yeah.
And it's so unhealthy. When do they put kind of the stake in the ground and say, oh, actually, no, we need to learn from this. We need to do something. We need to change it. I very rarely in my career have experienced that where they actually recognise that there's an issue. Very rarely.
Yeah, I always think I could have said more about it. I could have told them more. I could have said, I think it was how we were working that actually pushed me over the edge. But I didn't. And I didn't even tell anybody about my burnout, really. A few close friends. I was embarrassed. How bad is that?
Yeah. Really
embarrassed to be like not able to cope.
Yeah. I remember being like that as well. It's mortifying because you're working towards what you think you want. and you're doing what you think you should do, and you're being told you're successful, and then you're not.
Yeah, suddenly, I guess, because there was a facade for those 3 months. I was working really hard to make it look like everything was okay, and it wasn't.
And you maybe not have even realised that you weren't okay until you weren't okay.
No, exactly. yeah, it just hit me like a steam train.
Yeah, because this is what you're supposed to do. This is how it's supposed to be. I'll just keep up.
Yeah, but you know, I wish it hadn't happened that way. I'm sure for you, it's the same.
For most people, I've met so many people that the exact same thing has happened. Our stories are not unique, and that's what makes me sad, and that's what made me leave the field of HR, because I realised I couldn't actually have an impact on that as much as I wanted to. I didn't think I had the strength to have an impact on it.
Well, I think also if you've experienced it through the business, it's an awful lot to ask somebody to then sort of do cultural change work. It's massive. It goes like to the top of the business. It's got to start there. It's got to start.
You need to start school, in my opinion.
Very good. I think we're going into a whole other conversation for another day.
Maybe for next time.
I think we should.
How are we doing with time, by the way? Talking of time, none of us know the time.
I don't know. I haven't actually got a watch on.
Oh, there's a clock there. Look at that.
Let's have a look at the clock. What does it say?
All right, we're good.
Okay, 20 past, 20 minutes. What do we reckon?
Has the conversation organically stopped? Is what I would say.
I feel it has organically paused. I think we could talk all day.
All day.
Absolutely all day.
All right. Well, we'll leave it here then.
Yeah.
So this conversation came up through your friend Lynn.
Yes.
So please do make a suggestion for next time. Are you here next week? Are you away?
Next week. No, I'm away because it's Christmas.
And then it's Christmas. Yeah. We might not be back for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
But watch this space, because we'll let you know what we're doing and when.
Yeah. We'll do it again in the new year, full of mince pies and turkey and everything else. But yeah, if you have an idea of what you want us to chat randomly about, let us know, and we'll chat about it.
And we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Have a lovely Christmas.
Happy Christmas. Oh my gosh, we can say that.
Bye-bye.
Bye.